My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And you know what? I am re-evaluating my assessment of the mainstream media, the Shill media. Well, I'm talking about the fan media, called not the mainstream media. No, they're more evil than ever, right? You know, there's a book called Dante's Inferno where Dante descends down through the 9th level, the 9 levels of hell, and it gets more and more disgusting. And people on there get more evil as they go through each layer of hell. But when they get to the final layer, it's Judas Iscariot, frozen for all time, contemplating his terrible sin, right? Okay, I'm Jewish, right? So I didn't have a Christian, education background. Wouldn't Thomas be worse than Judas? I mean, I think, didn't Judas kill himself and have regret? Thomas denied Christ, didn't he? 3 times? Did he ever say sorry? Again, if he did, this is just my ignorance talking. It's a complete aside. Anybody out there knows, please let me know. Anyway, I digress. But below Judas Iscariot, I'm terribly sorry, Dante. Below Judas Iscariot, of course, there's the mainstream media, pure evil. And that joke was actually told by Ben Elton about 30 years ago, right? And it's so much more true now than it was then. Oh my God, they're so evil. Anyway, I digress. I'm talking about the Shill media, the Shill fan media. We thought them intrinsically evil, this disgusting backstreet gutter snipe journalism. No. They're more like Baldrick from Blackadder, just a simple-minded buffoon who doesn't really know up or down or black and white, right? That's how you got to view the Shill media, right? Absolutely. As we're about to demonstrate, we got a few articles here. When I say a few articles, I don't know how many I'm going to get through, right? I have a bunch lined up. There's going to be a lot of piss taking going on, but I always have more ready than I need to, right? So I got a bunch lined up for us to go through. But now they're all excited about Russ Lee Davies' new era after having all this egg over their face for the Jodie Whittaker era, and they didn't like so much of it, the new era. David Tennant being successful. Millie Gibson not having a penis, all those things really upset them all, and they had lots of tantrums. But now they're being, well, I mean, when you get to about my age, when you wake up with an erection, which is rare, right? Which is rare, you just massage it back to sleep, right? So that's basically where we are here with the media. They're just being their eyes being slowly massaged back to sleep. So I hope you've enjoyed the insight into being over 50, living a terribly unhealthy life up until then. And before we get into it, like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things are fantastic. You've either really decided to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, there's the first video here. You've either okay, I have to subscribe. I don't know what's going on next. Or you've run screaming and you never heard this. If you've never heard this, well, I guess you can't subscribe. If you're still here, baby, and you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Oh my God, that would... Listen, I don't know what it will do for you, but it might give me an erection. And again, as I think I've stated so far, I'm under 4 minutes in. As I stated so far, that takes quite a lot of work. I'm not a young man anymore. Look, when I was a kid, I used to go, oh, there's Concord, that'll do. Yeah, no, that doesn't happen in your 50s, mate, right? Unless you're heavily medicated. Not that I'm against being heavily medicated. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are fantastic. Double dose. All those things are fantastic. And I am very grateful for all of you liking, sharing, subscribing. That I am. That's actually the truth. I'm not taking the piss. Thank you very much. It's insanely helpful for me, right? It is absolutely insanely helpful for me. It genuinely helps. Thank you very much. If you haven't done it yet, please do. Also, look in the video notes. I have a thing called Substack, which is my email newsletter. Look, I can't guarantee it, but if you have any massive long-term degenerative disease, signing up to it may cure it. Maybe, or maybe not. I don't know. Give it a go, baby. Also, if you know anybody with some horrible degenerative disease, sign up. It might help them. It might. Listen, I'm just trying to help you out, baby, okay? I'm here for you, man. I'm here for you. So like, share, subscribe, comment. All those things are fantastic. Also, there's Instagram, there's Twitter. Follow me on everything. Everything. And again, I don't want to like promise too much, but you know, your life may get a lot better. There's going to be no noticeable difference whatsoever, other than I will be mildly happy. Actually, I'll be more. I mean, you know what? It's ridiculous how happy I get when I get new subscribers, which happens every freaking day. Thank you very much. But I'm like, woo! I'm really every time, okay? It never gets old. I'm a very vain person. Okay, I think that's really what we're trying to say. I'm a very vain person. Help me out, baby. Help me out. Anyway. Fine, let's get to the first article. Where are we going to our first article? Where else? The repository of stupid in the world. It has to be. It can only be the wonderful script. Is this the right thing? No, I'm on the. Yeah, it is the right thing. Let me go. Doink is open. There you go. Here it comes. Bit of shooting up. Well. I think we're getting a trailer or something in the next week or so. Rusty Davis is on Graham Norton. Is it Graham Norton? Yeah, I think it is on Graham Norton on Friday night. And there's some kind of weird countdown going on, which seems to end then. It might be it's Tom Baker's birthday on Friday as well. So, happy birthday, Tom. Maybe we should do a big retrospective of Tom Baker. On my Thursday show as I'm offline on Friday. Maybe. Yeah, that's something to do. I don't know. Let's wait and see. Rusty Davis' return is beating 2001's revival in one key way. I think more than one key way. I think the expectations are much, much higher. And the promise is much bigger, right? I think the promise is really, really much bigger this time round. Because we know we've danced this dance before, right? I mean, it worked before. I really think it's going to work this time. Look, people are very iffy about shooting. They're very iffy about this production. Rusty Davis is what we call woke, right? As a human being, he believes very strongly in woke causes. I think it's quite understandable that he does. Look, he comes from the 80s, right? Like me. In the 80s, there was... I don't know how I feel about it now. There was an absolute... What's the word I'm looking for? Desire to suppress gay culture, right? Yeah, that happened. Some of it legitimate, some of it somewhat illegitimate. Right? The legitimate stuff is, I think, it got to a point, I think, near where I used to live, the Harrow Council, or Hackney Council in London. This was Clause 28 or something. It got to a point there where there was a dance. And somebody did the poster for the dance set up by the council. Had a picture of a man and woman dancing, because that's kind of what happens at a dance, right? And then the council said, no, this was in the 80s. It's not in the 2020s when this stuff is like normal yet nauseating. They said, no, we can't use that. So you had to redraw the poster with 2 women dancing, 2 men dancing, and a man and woman dancing. God, man, that's the first real example of inclusivity that was anything but I can think of. But anyway, so you had this thing called Clause 28, which was the language of it was to prohibit any promotion of gay life. I can't remember, okay? I can't remember. I was a student at the time. I'm an old man now. I may have a different way of looking at it, but I remember it seeming like it was somewhat out of line at the time, right? I thought it seemed like an open attack on gay culture, but at the same time, look, have you seen It's a Sin? It's a very, very good depiction of what life was like in the 80s. I wasn't in the gay scene at the time, but they seemed to be having lots of sex then. I'm not sure normalizing that would be a good thing, right? So, I don't know. But yeah, listen, Russell T. Davis felt very much under attack. Now, also add on to that Ronald Reagan, I believe, really suppressed all knowledge of AIDS. Oh, and the people with AIDS were treated disgustingly, right? As a religious person, I am so ashamed of that, right? I really, really am. We have this... Really, and look, I would recommend anybody doing this. If you can, if you have time, it's way better. It's way more fulfilling than you would think. We have this tradition of going and visiting sick people in hospital. And it's a very good thing to do, right? It really lifts people up. Like, watching It's a Sin, I'm like, why wasn't there programs of, like, religion, Jews at the very least? We say it's a value. going to visit these poor people dying on their own. Oh, God, honestly, genuinely, I feel so ashamed of that. So Rusty Davis feels very, very, very... He comes from that attitude where he felt very, very under attack, because he was very under attack. I mean, really, suppressing knowledge of AIDS was not a good thing. And again, the way they're treated, terrible. So that crime, I would say, set up today, right? Set up where we are right now. So yeah, so when people say trans people are being oppressed, he is naturally in that fight in their corner, right? We're going to see that happened in 2005, right? But I don't think Rusty Davis can write characters without character. I just don't think he can do it. And I am so fine with having a trans character who's a character on screen. Trans people exist, and the way they've been represented on screen has been ridiculous thus far. Either you see something like, or hear something like Redacted. Dr. Redacted, the audio thing they did in the summer, which wasn't very good. It was written by trans people, and my God, they did not make themselves sound good. There was like these vapid narcissists, really made me want to vomit. Or they're like these suffering saints, or they're the, it's ridiculous. They don't come across as people, right? Yasmin Finn is going to be in the 60th anniversary, probably as Donna's daughter with a penis. Daughter with benefits, I guess. It's YouTube, that's totally normal, okay? I don't mean to intimate women having penises wasn't normal or in any way comedic. No! Certainly don't look at the history of comedy in the world, in the Western world. No, it's not funny. It's not fun. No, don't look. It's a bit funny. Okay, that doesn't matter, right? But I think they're going to be written as a human being. I'm fine with that, right? I'm fine with that. And I'm also fine with it not being like everybody on screen has to be gay. Like, that's the other terrible bit of writing, right? Star Trek Discovery, everybody's a woman, apart from if you need a villain, then it's a man, especially a white man, right? It's garbage, right? Garbage. So I don't think we're going to get that. I do think we're just mainly going to get really fun Doctor Who. And I think the way that everybody who has seen Ncuti Gatwa thus far in action has said he's very different and very much the Doctor. And people are like, well, what does that mean? He's different. Oh, I don't know. Right? So was Tom Baker. So was Patrick Troughton. So was John. That's what you want for a Doctor, to be very different and very much the Doctor. Anyway, fine. So let's read this. Rusty Davis relaunching Doctor Who again. But this time, he seems to take a very different approach from the one in 2005. Well, that time he was inventing the wheel. Now he's going back to now he's got a little bit more mileage under his belt. Rusty Davis's Doctor Who return is already beating his earlier 2005 revival in one surprising way. Oh, pray tell. Namely in how it handles the show's history and lore. Well, that's interesting. The BBC cancelled Doctor Who in 1989, and for a long time it seemed like the classic BBC classic sci-fi series fate was sealed, especially when the Americanized TV movie failed to provide the necessary impetus to bring Doctor Who back. Sadly, that was the case. I mean, it was really dependent on success in the US rather than success in the UK. It was massively successful in the UK. Like, massively, but there just wasn't the budget without a co-production deal, and Fox already had a show they deemed as similar called Sliders. I'm so glad we didn't get a Sliders Doctor Who, now thinking about it. With that kind of production values. And it went up against Roseanne, which was huge at the time. It was the episode where Dan had a heart attack. John Goodman had a heart attack. So it didn't do very well, right? It was weird. There was a lot of stuff wasn't great about it. I think it's going to be much, much more popular in America now. I think Netflix taking Doctor Who really, really put it on the map in the States. Stupidly, they removed it. That's why I think it's very good it's coming to Disney Plus. Pretty much same as Netflix and Disney Plus have a similar, what's the word I'm saying? Similar penetration. Similar. I know. I really just did say but that actually happened, right? How old am I? I'm in my 50s. What year is it? I'm 52. I'm 52, and I said penetration, and I giggled. Okay. That happened. Fine, I digress. The BBC cancelled Doctor Who in 1989 for a long time. It was sealed. Blah, 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 blah. They're now bring back Doctor Who. And then, to the delight of fans, Rusty Davies successfully persuaded the BBC to bring back the show in early 2000s. No, the BBC successfully persuaded Rusty Davies to headline it. In fact, I think if he said no, it probably wouldn't have happened, right? I think they needed that kind of like rising star talent, that kind of like star writer talent. I can't think of somebody else who would have been able to do it. I think Jed McCarrow. No, he wasn't really at that point at the time, right? I don't think he'll be interested. Rusty Davies was like the perfect person. So where are we up to? Bring back, and then to like Rusty is successfully persuaded BBC, whatever, in the early 2000s. I say I'm trying to be nice to you, Screen Rant. I really am, and you keep making it very hard. And I'm not. And when I say making it very hard, not in the good way. Not in the good way. You make it kind of soft, actually. But as I said, doesn't take much. Doctor Who suddenly became BBC's flagship TV series. Well. So it's a science fiction TV series? Against what? What else did it have? It was the first sci-fi show they had on since Star Cops. I can't remember. What else did they have? Crime Traveller? Oh, yes, our flagship TV series. Really? Okay, well, there you go. In 2020, when Doctor Who passed an important milestone, it had been back longer than it was cancelled. Yeah, but it was pretty much on its way out at that point. A remarkable achievement. No, a remarkable achievement would have been that it didn't have like the implosion that the Whittaker years were. The future looks brighter than ever with Russell T Davies. I love that they just gloss over everything, everything they were wrong about, right? Oh, no, look at that, blah, 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 blah. The future looks again with Rusty Davies returning to Doctor Who again for what feels like a fresh relaunch. How's it better? Blimey. Come on, get your point, darling, get your point. This time the show will command a massive budget courtesy of the co-production with the and distribution deal with Bad Wolf Studios and Disney. I think Sony's got quite a big hand in this as well, hasn't it? David Tennant and Catherine Tate have joined the 60th anniversary celebrations of the 14th Doctor and companion Donald Noble, and they'll be followed by Ncuti Gatwa as the 15th Doctor and Millie Gibson as the new companion Ruby Sunday. Again, listen, okay? The way that you relate to things is the way that you first encountered them, right? And I was very nervous when I found out, when I waited to find out who the new companion was. They were announcing the new companion on Friday night, which meant I was offline for Sabbath, right? So I had to wait all through Friday night until about, 5, 6 o'clock on Saturday. And I was terrified, really was. Oh, God, please don't be a chick with a dick. Of course, a chick with a dick is totally normal and fine, okay? But I was like, please, just as well, don't be a chick with a dick. Don't be a chick with a dick. Don't be a chick with a dick. And it was, not only was it not a chick with a dick, it was a chick who was smoking hot, okay? I mean, I was like, really? I'm still like, who did you get what? I can't believe it. Anyway. They got one 15th Doctor, Ruby Sunday. Davis' second era will build on its lore. Well, yes, obviously. When Davis launched Doctor Who in 2005, he deliberately chose to play down the franchise's convoluted lore. Yeah, look, that was one of the big mistakes they made in the McGann movie, right? And a lot of the 2005 series is a reaction to the McGann movie. I think he was working on... It was before he was big when the McGann movie came out, and he asked his boss at the time. Maybe it was a soap opera I think he was working on. I said, "What do you think of the Doctor Who revival?" And he said, "Well, I didn't really like the fancy dress as the costume for the Doctor, which is why we got the very, very simplistic Eccleston look, right? Which was I think it was right for the time, but boy, I'm glad they ditched that really quickly with David Tennant coming in." But yeah, no, a lot, and the whole like connection with the lore. You know, you want to get into the story. You know, you want to get into what it is before you want to get into the drama, get into why people want to watch it before like bogging them down with all this like, oh, by the way, let me tell you 50 years of backstory, and then wrestle on. I don't like, no. I completely get that, right? Because we're coming in, it was like, in 2005, coming in from 89. How many years is that? That was, 15 years? 16? Yeah. I mean, in terms of soaps, right? Anything that happened 18 months ago is like it didn't happen. It's like ancient history. This is 15 bloody years. Nobody knew what Doctor Who was. The whole generation died. You had people who are older going, I remember that. And said, yeah, do you want to check it out with their kids? And they had to bring it, right? Here's the thing. This is what they're doing the same this time round they did in 2005. They're giving you a reason to come and watch it, right? That's what I think Yasmin Finn is doing. I think that's what a lot of things are doing. It's very, 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 very populist. Yasmin Finney has millions of TikTok followers. As does Shooty Gatwa. They're going to bring a lot of people in, right? But it's Russell's job to keep them there, to entertain them, right? And that's essentially what he did in 2005, right? So that's why I think he's going to do that again in 2023. Oh my God, we're in 2023. The clock is actually ticking down. You know, like every second we're getting a little bit closer to that 6th anniversary. Man, it's going to be awesome. Come on, it's really going to be awesome. And I think subtly, Jodie Whittaker in the Jodie Whittaker era will be retconned away by the time we hit Christmas. Oh, it will. We can all say it will be over by Christmas. All going to be over by Christmas. I think it's going to be retconned in a way that it's in your head canon. You can say it is, you can say it isn't, whatever you'd rather. Fine. So he leveled the playing field by introducing the concept of the Time War, which wiped out both the Daleks and the Time Wars. I think that's a great idea, right? This was a smart narrative approach because it effectively leveled the playing. You just said that! You know, why can you not just read it back? Do a second draft? You lazy. I mean, I know you're being paid pittance, but have some pride in your fucking work. Oh, so irritating, isn't it? I mean, it really is. That'll do. That'll do. That is what journalism. That'll do. At the best. That is the best of journalism. That'll do. Pathetic, isn't it? Fine. Meaning old and new viewers alike were left figuring out things at the same rate. Whoa, so did Chris Chibnall, but I think they figured out this is shit. It's at the same rate, which was pretty darn quick. This time, though, Davis is celebrating Doctor Who's complex continuity. Not sure. No, I think he's leaning into good stories, right? Which, if you are a nerdy fanboy like I am, right, you're going to get all the references. If you're like, you know, a Karen watching it on your couch with your nerdy fanboy boyfriend or husband, you'll just be finding delightful stories, right? Which is what he did in 2005, right? And essentially, I think we should be, I mean, look, if you look at how much the classic stuff gradually came in, right? We had a very little reference in 2005. You had, what was it? The Autons in Rose, and that was, you didn't need to know anything about them to know anything about it, to see it. You know, they had no connection in the past. And the Dalek, right? Was there any other elements from the past? Not that I can recall off the top of my head. I think everything was new. However, when they started building up the law in the second season, 2006, you had Torchwood, you had the Cybermen, you had the Time. It started bringing things in until, like, I think he worked out that the Optimum was about 70% new, 30% old, right? Which I think is what this is going to be. The 6th anniversary specials are believed to feature Neil Patrick Harris as the Toy Maker. He's got a Germanic accent. I mean, I wonder if they're going to, if he is the Toy Maker, are they going to nod to the Michael Gough look at it? Like, is he going to appear at that and go whoop into Neil Patrick Harris or something? That would be cool. I'd love to see that happen. Also, so there'll be some subtle thing that, again, fans will get, but normies won't notice, and it won't interfere with the story. That's what I think we can expect. The classic foe last seen in the 60s, there will be also be characters straight from the comics. Yes, in an interview published in Doctor Who magazine 586, coming a couple of weeks ago now, Davis even name dropped the character Maverick Chen. I always thought it was Maverick Chen, right? It's amazing how things get stuck in your head canon. Maverick Chen, last seen in 1966. It's probably only a reference rather than a recast. Again, Kevin Stoney, I am almost positive, played that in blackface. I am almost positive. Which was a thing! Like, okay, Patrick Troughton said one of the things he considered was playing the role in blackface. Could you imagine? Oh, I'm kind of torn. I am torn. If Rick and Morty shows up and Rick says, hey, can I take you to another reality? I want to see the blackface Doctor Who. Patrick Troughton. I want to see that, right? And bring back copies. So what would you do? Oh my God! Okay, so now, you have what great story is missing? I'm trying to think of the ones they haven't reconstructed yet. But I'm going to go with Macra Terror, because I love the Macra Terror. It's one of my all-time favourite Second Doctor stories. Could you imagine a blackface Doctor in the Macra Terror? Oh yes, please! Please! I mean, it'll be too funny. It'll just be too funny. It's probably only a reference rather than recast, but it indicates the depth of lore he's willing to explore. Yeah, again, this is not his first trip at the. This is not his first rodeo, right? Why David's second era is celebrating the franchise's history? Well, the 6th anniversary, maybe, I don't know. David's upcoming relaunch will, of course, take place in a very different context. Back in 2005, he was fighting to re-establish Doctor Who place in consciousness, and also to undo which he's doing right now as well. Same thing. He's trying to undo the public consciousness of what was Doctor Who, which was not good, right? It is not beneficial to Doctor Who. Like at the time, people thought Doctor Who had wobbly sets, and honestly, having seen all of Doctor Who and knowing it very well and knowing the criticisms, I can you can legitimately level at it, right? Even at its absolute nadir, the absolute worst it's ever been, I don't remember it having wobbly sets. I mean, Terror of the Vervoids, those sets didn't seem to wobble to me. Okay, you saw a hand holding Sutek's cushion down. Okay, that happened. But wobbly sets? I mean, crappy special effects. And that's only in the context of, like, they weren't, when was it? Ian Scoons, who did, what's they called again? They called it Space War in the book. Like, was it Frontier in Space? Yeah, with the washing up bottle spaceships. He didn't expect it to be viewed 50 years bloody later, right? With CGI effects being the norm. God bless him. The design work on Ark in Space. The Ark is an incredible piece of production design by, what's the name? The guy did Liberator. I mean, beautiful, right? Really beautiful design. I very much prefer the DVD version where you got CGI special effects, because it doesn't take you out. I find the original effect takes you out the story, because it's like, whoa, what's going on? But okay. I forgot where I am. I have no idea how we got here. But back in 2005, he was fighting to risk. Oh yeah, because it's saying it had wobbly sets, right? Back in the college, his goal is to maintain it. What's more, his second era begins with the 60th anniversary. I think that's somewhat significant in of itself. While it's true he's lifting a lot of ideas from his fourth, I don't think he's lifting ideas. I think this is his natural continuation of ideas from the full season. It's people are worried, by the way, he's going to bypass the Matt Smith era and the Capaldi era. So I don't think so. I would be really surprised. In fact, one of the things that might be happening this Friday is announcing Matt Smith is going to be in the anniversary, which I find a little bit more likely than Tom Baker, because Tom Baker he's a bit long in the tooth now, right? I mean, I can understand Tom Baker's voice, on audio, still sounds like he did in 1978. He will undoubtedly want the specials releasing in 2023 to feel like a celebration of the show's history. Well, again, people still remember his Doctor Who wasn't that far away. Popular Doctor Who wasn't very far away. It's about 5 years away. It's still in the national consciousness, and you can really tell by the instant David Tennant appeared on screen, right? The absolute millisecond he appeared on screen, everybody was suddenly interested in Doctor Who again, right? Whoa, when that happened? Yes, because why? Because David Tennant's interesting. David Tennant is an interesting, charismatic actor that will get people to watch. And frankly, the failures of the Whittaker-Chibnall era have gone largely unnoticed, because Nobody watched it. Bottom line, not many people watched it. Not many people watch television in general. Or entertainment. You know, I'm recording this on Sunday, right? Sunday, January the 15th. So on Friday the 13th, I was in synagogue, right? Friday night synagogue is kind of a big thing. Yeah, you go and you it's kind of a social scene as well. So, you know, I go and hang out with some people who hang out the back so a lot of the time, as is my want. And there's a guy I always chat to about what's on, what we like, what we don't like. So, you seen anything good on recently? No! The only watchable things I really saw, I think, in 2022 were Peacemaker and House of the Dragon. Westworld and Raised by Wolves as well, but they're both cancelled. Yeah, that was the only watchable thing. Nobody watched it. Nobody watched the Jodie Whittaker, so nobody really knows about it. Other than they know it was trash like all the rest of TV, which is why nobody watches TV, right? EastEnders ratings, my God, they're bad. And Jodie Whittaker's rating would have been far worse had they done more episodes so people got used to how bad it was. That's you can watch the ratings decline each season because people realize like, oh, this is shit. I don't want to watch this. That's, you know, that's quite naturally would happen when you make shit that nobody wants to watch. He'll then wants to a celebration of the show's history. Davis may be eschewing the traditional multi-doctor format for such an anniversary. I don't think so, baby. I don't think so. I think we're seeing some more doctors, right? I really do. Likely for practical reasons as much as anything else, but the treasure trove of Easter eggs are guaranteed. Well, we see Wraith Warriors and Meet the Beat to name but two. Meanwhile, it's important to know that the world has changed a lot since 2005. Sadly, yes. You know, if I could live in a loop from 2005 to 2015, yes. That is the best time. That is the best time to be alive, right? Had all the best stuff on. Things were doing really, really well. And the world hasn't, like, degenerated into, like, this insanity, right? Do you remember? It was, I think, around 2010. I can't remember. When was the Queen's Jubilee or Silver Jubilee or some Jubilee? When there was just all this nationalistic pride of waving Union Jacks and nobody felt like they were being fascists. Right now, you couldn't do that. You're not allowed to wave a national flag without waving a pride flag next to it. Or you're a icky-wicky racist. You know, it's just the weird world we live in. Films like Star Wars and MCU have absolutely imploded, right? My God, 2022 was really terrible for us. I was going over the MCU movies from Phase 4 and the TV. Everything was a massive failure. Everything was about same as Star Wars, right? They nearly had it back with Mandalorian season 2. People were like, "Oh, this is good. This feels Star Wars." They went, "No." Gina Carano put out shit like Obi-Wan Kenobi, and even when he put out things that were not like awful, not it was awful, not unprofessionally bad, right? The like Andor, nobody gave a shit because nobody watched it because it's over. Bloody killed that. Andor would have been good if they made it 2 hours long, right? Yeah. But again, I didn't really care. That's the bad thing. I didn't really care. Nobody really cared at that point. Star Wars is absolutely over, I think. I mean, but it can always come back. That's the truth. Everything can always come back if it's handled correctly. You know, I think Star Wars, if they have like an epic movie made by Christopher Nolan or somebody, you know, some epic movie maker like that, of like the life and death of Luke Skywalker, rebooting the franchise, yes, that would be huge, and everybody will go and see that, right? Because as long as it's not shit, right? But that's basically what they need to do. But as it stands right now, it's dead. The MCU proving diversity of law is no barrier to entry. No, but diversity is. Well, I should say false diversity. We live in a diverse culture. Right, the Western world has always been. Go look at Doctor Who from 2005 to 2015. We live in a diverse culture, and we embrace that diversity. You know, it wasn't considered a negative to be, you know, in a diverse culture. Nobody had a problem with it. Honestly, nobody had a problem with like drag shows or you know, being trans until you started, you know, bringing kids into it, and then we're like, oh, I'm not so sure about this. Not so sure. But Yeah, so diversity of law. No barrier to entry. It's a selling point for these franchises. Not really. These franchises are both imploded. They did very, very, very badly. Star Trek has gone even further. Let me see can I see the metrics of Star Trek, how that's doing? There's one show that managed to do well, and that's Star Trek's Strange New World. Why? Because it was basically a Star Trek show. You know, episodic, went around, did Star Trek-y stuff, and it was only slightly heavily weighted in the favor of women. Oh, I'm really nervous about the next season though, because they bring Carol Kane in as the chief engineer, and that for me just brings the masculine feminine ratio, blows it up, right? It was just too much, just a little bit too much weighted feminine in the first season. If you just got rid of Lieutenant Latinx lesbian, I think, and replace him with a bloke, you would have had a working show. But no, they're going the other way. I don't know. They say Picard's supposed to be quite good, but who can believe it? The first episode of season 2 of Picard was good as well. But Dave's pointed out there's now a TV show starring Captain Pike. It's the only watchable one they've made. The advent of streaming services means it's possible to watch Doctor Who's entire history with ease that previous generations could never have imagined. That's true. It's becoming easier and easier. I really hope the Disney Hub has a complete the Disney Hub has the complete classic Doctor Who. I really, really hope that's the case. Watching dinosaurs with ease that previous generation could never have dreamed of and imagined. That's actually an incredible opportunity, because where is Doctor Who fandom now? Mainly on YouTube, right? YouTube is one of its major areas of congregation. They could totally do that on Disney Plus, right? They could make a platform for people to publish themselves onto it and become part of the production. Honestly, that's what Star Trek should have done. Star Trek should have embraced the fan films and put them on their bloody platform. So it was free content that people would have liked. What, you think people wouldn't have paid to see Axanar? They're insane. It was just about ego, right? It was Kurtzman's ego. Didn't want somebody else doing the same thing. Oh, that'll be confusing. No, what's confusing is how shit you made TV. So anyway, I digress. But you could also have watch-alongs. Do you remember watch-alongs is how this new era started? You could absolutely do a watch-along together. And have us tweeting together, or you can put it all on the same platform. The possibilities that technology give us in terms of storytelling, in terms of bringing you into part of the storytelling, it's fabulous. And I think a man like Rusty Davis might be the right one to try and tap into that. With the second episodes from the Sixers, which are lost when the unwisely erased videotapes, listen, you can reconstruct those as well. David Bradley doing Marco Polo would be awesome. I would love to see that. There's been speculation that classic Doctor Who will wind up on Disney Plus. I hope so, as well as the latest season. I really do, right? I think and it seems to be that's the sort of thing Rusty Davis wants to do. Frankly, I really hope that they buy out, that Bad Wolf buys out Big Finish and renegotiates to do a streaming service as well. Bad Wolf Audio, I think that'd be fantastic. As well as the latest seasons, will make it easy for viewers to explore any references. That's true. Davis's new approach with Doctor Who should therefore fit perfectly into both the popular culture and modern distribution. That's true. That is 100% true. Fine. Okay. So, but Ken, I have this video up by saying they're kind of like Baldrick, right? They're kind of like a simple-minded terrier, all excited, right? It's funny, isn't it? Let's see what else they got to say. We'll go for another Screen Rant articles. Let's have a look. Doctor Who's unit return avoids a pointless Chibnall era mistake. What, the destruction of unit for a Brexit gag? Fine, this is just going to be introduction. Blah, 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 blah. Aliens on World War III. No, that's when they introduced. Well, yeah, but they had to change it to United Nations were mad. Really, I've never heard the United Nations ever do anything I agree with. So they say that, oh, we can't have United Nations named in this incredibly popular show that everybody loves. No, we can't do that. So they had to become the Unified Intelligence Task Force. Chris Chibnall took over from Moffat as showrunner in 2017 and destroyed the show. Produced one of the most divisive eras of the show with Jodie Whittaker, the 13th Doctor. Now Russell T Davies has rejoined the show after the prior run between 2005 and 10. Many are expecting the mistakes of the Chibnall era to be ignored or retconned or directly fixed in universe. I'm one of those people expecting that to happen, though Doctor Who won't see another complete season until 2024 when Ncuti Gatwa will take the reins of the 15th. So I'm really excited. Okay, I keep saying the same thing with the same trick. Oh, Ncuti Gatwa, I'm excited. Oh, Ncuti Gatwa, I'm excited. It just kind of like, I will always say the same thing. 15, blah, blah, blah. Whoniverse. So in a tweet posted by the official Doctor Who account on January 9th, 2023, they convert units back, blah, blah, blah. This is exciting news for the entire series. This unit is one of the longest running organisations in the show, and some people were surprised that Chibnall closed down Doctor Who's unit during his tenure, but he reopened it as well in the last episode. I mean, really? Yes, he already retconned that, right? Yeah, and okay, but look, people were mad at the Chris Chibnall era because it was destructive and awful, right? And they wanted to find any reason to hate it. That like unit being closed down is just like, but they fixed it within blink of an eye. Like none of this is real, mate. Right? They could change it by pixels on a typewriter, on a word processor. All of this is fixable. Everything is fixable. In 2020's New Year's special, Spyfall unit was confirmed to no longer be in existence. Yes, but they said they came back again. Chibnall did reverse this during the BBC's centenary special, Power of the Doctor, which inexplicably saw unit back in unit. Inexplicably is the way that Chris Chibnall would handle things, right? The new confirmation unit saw Kate Lethbridge Stewart. Wait, no, they were back. Flux showed you how it got shut down. It was all, what's his name? Cotton from Line of Duty. I said duty. That bloke, the Grand Serpent, whoever he was, right? They show. Okay. You got right that Unit and Case Joe will return in Gatwa's first season as the Doctor. Means that Chibnall's Maker is being retconned and will. It's already been retconned, moron. Unit's too valuable a resource to be swept under the rug. Rusty bring it back. What's Unit return mean for the 15th Doctor? That there's going to be Unit in there. With his new run, Davis is making Doctor Who changes that seem to bring the series back to its roots. Yes, have you seen the logo? Introducing a young Doctor and Gatwa with a charismatic human companion, Millie Gibson. She's very charismatic, and by that I don't mean hot. She's hot because she's charismatic, right? But she's pretty much both. It evokes what worked with Doctor Who in its relaunch in 2005. With so much change, however, it will be great for viewers to have a familiar face. Blah, blah, blah. God, stupidity. Really, you made a vaguely okay point, and then you lost it, mate. You lost it. What can you do? Listen, we got a vaguely coherent point out of Screen Rant. I think we should all be grateful. Quite frankly, it's not often you get a coherent point out of Screen Rant. So, and we got one to say, congratulations, Hosanna, as they say. That we actually found something in Screen Rant that didn't make me want to vomit in my own mouth. Anyway, I digress. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop.